confirmation in the last few minutes as I was running through the classifiers that is now officially a Arsenal player. The medicals passed earlier today. Personal terms were agreed. That news broke around about 3 hours ago. But in the last few minutes, news confirmed, is a gunner. He has made the move to North London, but he has moved to the red half of North London.
Arsenal's capture of Julián Álvarez has continued to dominate discussion among supporters and analysts alike, but the true significance of the move is beginning to reveal itself not through transfer figures or speculation, but through the tone and substance of the player himself. From the moment he addressed the media at the Emirates Stadium, Álvarez projected a calm authority that suggested a footballer fully aware of where he is, what is expected of him, and why he chose this moment and this club for the next phase of his career. There was no hint of uncertainty, no attempt to soften the challenge ahead. Instead, he spoke with a clarity that immediately resonated across North London. What stood out most was his understanding of pressure. Álvarez did not frame it as an obstacle to overcome, but as a natural companion to ambition. He spoke about how elite football is defined by expectations, by moments when the margin for error disappears and character becomes decisive. For him, these moments are not something to survive but something to seek. That mindset has been noticeable to Arsenal supporters who have long believed the squad has the talent to compete, but have questioned whether the mentality required to consistently win at the highest level was fully in place. As he continued speaking, Álvarez repeatedly returned to the idea of responsibility. He made it clear that he does not view leadership as something tied solely to age or status, but as something expressed through action, intensity, and accountability. He spoke about wanting the ball in decisive situations, about being trusted when matches are balanced on a knife edge, and about accepting the scrutiny that comes with those moments. These comments struck a chord with fans who crave players willing to take ownership when seasons are defined by a handful of crucial decisions. The Premier League itself was discussed with a level of respect that bordered on enthusiasm. Álvarez described the league as relentless, demanding, and unforgiving, but also as the perfect stage for players who want to measure themselves against the very best. He spoke about the physical duels, the pace of play, and the constant tactical demands, suggesting that these elements force players to sharpen every aspect of their game. For him, adapting quickly is not optional, but essential, and he made it clear that he is prepared to meet that challenge head-on. Within the club, there is already a growing belief that Álvarez's arrival could influence more than just the attacking statistics. Those around the squad describe a player who brings intensity into everyday environments, who treats training sessions with the same seriousness as match days, and who communicates expectations clearly. That presence, subtle but firm, has reportedly been noticed by teammates and staff alike. It is the kind of influence that does not always appear on highlight reels, but often proves decisive over the course of a long and demanding season. Álvarez also spoke at length about the project at Arsenal, emphasizing that his decision was rooted in belief rather than reputation alone. He described conversations with the club as honest and ambitious, centered on growth, accountability, and the pursuit of trophies rather than short-term comfort. What attracted him most, he explained, was the sense that Arsenal are no longer satisfied with progress for its own sake. There is a desire to finish what has been started, to convert years of rebuilding into moments of tangible success. For supporters, this has added another layer to the excitement surrounding his arrival. It is not simply about adding quality to the squad, but about reinforcing a mindset. Álvarez represents a player who appears comfortable with expectation, who speaks openly about winning, and who understands that belief must be backed by consistency and sacrifice. In a league where margins are thin and narratives shift quickly, that mentality can often be the difference between near misses and genuine achievement. As the press conference drew on, Álvarez was careful to acknowledge that words alone will never be enough. He spoke about the responsibility to deliver on the pitch, about earning trust through performance, and about letting actions speak louder than statements. Yet even in expressing that humility, there was no retreat from ambition. Instead, it reinforced the impression of a player who understands the journey ahead and is fully prepared to walk it. Around the Emirates, there is a sense that this signing could represent a subtle but important turning point. Not because one individual can carry a club alone, but because mentality is contagious. When players arrive demanding excellence and embracing pressure, it raises standards across the board. It encourages belief, sharpens focus, and creates an environment where winning becomes an expectation rather than a hope. Supporters now look ahead with renewed anticipation. They know that the Premier League will test Álvarez relentlessly, that adaptation will be scrutinized, and that patience will be required. But they also sense that this is a player who has not arrived to observe, but to influence. His words suggest a footballer intent on leaving a mark, on contributing to moments that define seasons rather than merely participating in them. Whether this chapter ultimately delivers trophies will be decided over time, through performances, results, and resilience. What is already clear, however, is that Julián Álvarez has arrived with purpose. His confidence has elevated expectations, his mentality has sparked conversation, and his presence has added a new dimension to Arsenal's ongoing evolution. If his actions match his intent, this period may one day be remembered as the moment Arsenal's ambition became unmistakably visible, spoken not in whispers, but with conviction. Please like this video and subscribe.